name. He's a
A
ghost.
ghost? Oh.
Yeah.
Clinton, I really can't. Well, okay, that's a great segue, Clinton. You know who's been a ghost, but only a short-term ghost this year? Jannik Sinner. He hasn't played in 3 months. He's been a ghost off the tour, but his name...
He was forced into being a ghost.
He was forced into being a ghost, a forced ghost. For a guy that was forced into being a ghost, his name is still at the top of the rankings, isn't it?
Very much so.
I mean,
we see him.
Don't know how to
I know.
step up.
And that's not to go too much into Zverev, but just to kind of pin that up. Zverev has been playing poorly by his own admission because of what could have happened if he would have won some events and just gone deep. He would have gotten to world number 1. And I feel like he thought about that and psyched himself out way too much, especially when now, like, the 3 months is almost over in a couple of weeks. Sinner still has a relatively decent grasp on number 1. And you're just now finding some kind of confidence in Zverev, where Sinner... This is where I kind of want to take this conversation. The Klosterball saga has ended, but do you think this is going to like rev up the engine in Jannik Sinner, or do you think it is in some way because he's been out of the competition? Do you think it's going to maybe possibly hold him back? Clinton, I want to hear from you.
That's a good question.
I put you on the spot. See?
Yeah, it's a good question because like the believer in karma wants to say it wouldn't be right for him to come back and just outright like return to the form that he was in. But then again, he also hasn't been suspended for that long. He just won the last 2 slams. So I think he's still going to be playing like a number 1 player, but also I don't want to see him like win immediately after. I think that sets a very bad precedent for the ATP tour. To have someone be gone for so long and no one step up to take the mantle and then he just returns as normal, I don't think that looks good. But I think it's weird because he didn't play poorly when this whole thing came out. Like he
kept winning. That's very true.
As a matter of fact, he hunkered down and played better.
Yeah, he was like, well, cross the ball or no cross the ball, I can still win a slam.
I can still hit this ball.
Exactly. So I don't think it'll be that much of a mental thing for him. I do think, unfortunately, he's just going to come out like with something to prove, honestly, because he's still got 2 other slams left to collect the career slam. So I think that would motivate him.
Valdez, are you happy that it seems that this Klosterball saga has come to an end? Like, are you happy? Are you happy with the like happy medium that is the 3-month ban that he's been serving? And where are you with like processing Jannik Sinner being off the tour and almost back on the tour?
I mean, the whole Klosterball situation with all the controversy and whether it was around the ITIA and the sort of overall governing bodies for doping and the players' response, I think everything has just been really exhausting. And I think I'm over it. I really am. Like whether he's good, whatever your views on sort of the situation of sort of the actual occurrence of the appearance of Klosterball in the system, whatever your stance on that is, he was ruled. It wasn't intentional, and it was ruled
allegedly.
Exactly.
So, I can't say allegedly, I guess, because it's been deemed or it? Because didn't he settle? Isn't the 3 month? Isn't the 3 month ban a settlement? Okay,
it is a settlement. So the 3-month ban is a settlement, and it is an agreement that we have seen. We are agreeing that you're not fully responsible, like you didn't intentionally dope, but you are responsible for your team, and that's what the courts have, the governing bodies have decided, and we're going at that. In terms of the actual tennis, I think back, Iga, and Iga is just like the most recent comparison that we can have. How long? She had a 1-month ban, or was it 1 month? 1 month.
Yeah.
And since then, she hasn't won anything. She hasn't made a final. And
She's come close, but it just hasn't. It hasn't culminated to like that winning moment. And you think
exactly.
that might be the tale of Sinner, maybe, possibly.
And I'm not saying it will be the tale of Sinner, but I'm just genuinely fascinated by what he brings to the court. No pun intended. What he, I'm genuinely fascinated by what he brings to the tennis court. Come clay, because clay has traditionally not been his best surface. He hasn't won a Masters 1000 on clay. He hasn't even made a Masters 1000 final on clay. He hasn't won any big title on clay. As a matter of fact, he's won one title on clay in his career, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it Umag?
Yeah, it was Umag against Carlos, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe that was like a match for them, yeah.
Exactly. So he's really unproven on the surface. So it's really just to see what form he brings. And I'm also curious in terms of like, let's say Carlos wins Madrid and then we're coming into Rome. Like, how does Carlos react? Like in terms of like you're being touted as the favorite for the French Open, and how does he? And you know how Carlos struggles. Carlos struggles with a lot of the things that goes on in the media. And so, well, how does Zverev respond if he wins Madrid and he has a chance to ascend to number one? Like what
if Alex de Minaur wins Madrid, which is what my fantasy draft did?
That is not going to happen.
You don't think it's going to happen?
It will not happen.
In my fantasy draft that I finished last night, it definitely happens.
Yeah.
Did you let the algorithm pick for you?
No, I was just kind of chilling on the sofa and just doing some things that I thought would be cool.